What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Origins with me, TheOneIntegral. In today's episode we are looking at the Totodile line from the Johto region, Totodile, Croconaw and Feraligatr, and in the future episodes in the next couple we're looking at Johto Pokemon, so be sure to suggest some more down below in the comment section, and after that we move on to Hone, so again, suggest some more Hone Pokemon for me to cover. So, let's just get started on Totodile. It's now 158 in the National Pokédex, and its Japanese name is Wanenoko. Lovely name there. It is the Big Jaw Pokemon and a pure Water type, obviously being the Water type starter Pokemon for Johto. It stands at 0.6 meters or 2 foot tall and weighs 9.5 kilograms or 20.9 pounds. Looking at the models from Generation 6 for Totodile, you can see the regular and shiny ones there. Shiny Totodile is basically a sort of a really... I don't know how to describe this green colour. I'm guessing it's sort of a swampy green colour, or a really light cyan green. I'm not too sure, but basically that's the only change there. The markings stay the same. It's just literally the change of skin from a light blue to a sort of a greeny colour. Totodile, being one of the starter Pokemon, evolves fairly quickly. When you'll get evolving into a Croconaw starting at level 18, so it's actually later than some evolutions, but obviously when we get to Feraligatr will appear earlier than others, so that's sort of you gotta toss it up basically. First evolution's a bit later on, but the final comes a bit sooner. So Totodile, it's a light blue Pokemon and it looks very crocodile-like. Straight off the bat you know it's based off of a crocodile really. Just the huge jaw, the spines down the back, which we'll look at in a minute, and just its general sort of appearance as well. It's always an amphibian sort of thing. I think crocodiles are amphibians, don't ask me, I'm not too up to date. Anyway, Totodile has a small main body with short arms and legs coming off the the respective points. Two little short arms, they're not too big, and its legs are a bit bigger, just to support its weight, but they aren't anything too powerful. It also has a small tail coming off its back, which is pretty cool. I like the little tails like that, and it has red spines, as I mentioned already, down its back and its tail. It has, I think, one or two on its back, and then just a single one on the end of its tail. Totodile has a fairly small head, but with a large snout and jaw. Its jaw and its snout are much bigger compared to the rest of its head, because it's the big jaw Pokemon, so that would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it? This mouth is lined with a lot of small teeth, which you definitely don't want to get punctured into your skin, because that's going to hurt a bit. And obviously Totodile has big, darkish red eyes as well, so it can generally see with. So looking at some of the information we can get from Pokédex entries, we find out that Totodile, despite its very small size, is actually a rough and tough Pokemon. It doesn't just sort of, let people bully it around. It's gonna do stuff, and it won't hesitate to bite anything that moves. So if there's a Cyndaquil runs past, bite. Chikorita, bite. Anything that moves, it's gonna bite. It uses these well-developed jaws on the front of its face just to crush things inside them, and obviously they're very powerful as well, so it makes a lot of sense that it would just crush things in between them. Even Totodile's trainer has got to be careful around Totodile, because Totodile could easily just turn around and bite their ankle or bite their leg. It's really not safe having a Totodile as a Pokemon, really. So the origin of Totodile, as I mentioned already, as soon as you look at it you can tell it's based off a crocodile, and that's basically what it is based off of, a baby crocodile. So really there's nothing too much to go into there. Apart from the fact, obviously, if you look at the baby crocodile's eyes, they are pretty big. I mean, in general, crocodile's eyes are pretty big compared to their head. But looking at Totodile, these eyes are sort of a similar size, if you guys get what I'm getting at here. So the eyes are definitely some sort of inspiration there. And you can see Totodile has, I guess I can describe them as vertical eyes, whereas this baby crocodile here has horizontal eyes, but Totodile also has this black marking around the eye in sort of a horizontal direction, so that again might be some sort of reference to the baby crocodile and crocodiles in general there, which would make a lot of sense, to be honest. Naming wise for Totodile, its Japanese name Wanenoko can be taken to mean that Japanese word, I don't know how to speak Japanese. This basically means the child of a crocodile or alligator, so basically a baby crocodile, a baby alligator. That's what Totodile's Japanese name means. Very inventive, very, very inventive. The English name, Totodile, is a bit more creative. It's a combination of tot and crocodile. I turned American almost for a second. I think it's American, crocodile, I'm not sure. Crocodile anyway. So tot meaning, sort of small, young, basically. So, you're going to tot around, you have a toddler. So that's where that's where possibly a toddler or tot comes from. Other way around, who knows. But when you say Totodile, sometimes you'll say it as Totodile. Sometimes, I guess if you've got like a block nose, you might say Totodile. rather than Totodile. So possibly Toddler can come in there as well. Toddler-dile, something on those lines. It's possible, who knows. You guys can let me know down below what you think about that. So finally for Totodile, if you take a look at this size, standing at 0.6 meters or 2 foot, it's not a huge Pokemon. And you can see it there in the comparison, you know, it's pretty small. It comes up to Ash's and my knees almost, so it's not too big. But as we said already, it's very vicious. It'll bite anything that moves, so I wouldn't be surprised if it just clamped onto your leg at any point and just gnawed it off. So yeah, probably a good idea to be careful and wear trousers around Totodile. Well, the trousers will help too much, but you guys get the idea. Anyway, that's it for Totodile. Let's move on to its evolution, Croconaw. So, Croconaw. It's number 159 in the National Pokédex, coming right after Totodile, and its Japanese name is Alligator. No prizes for guessing where that comes from. It is also the big jaw Pokemon, and again is a pure water type. It stands now at 1.1 meters or 3 foot 7 inches, so it's almost double in size from what it was as a Totodile, so it's getting bigger here, getting bigger and more powerful. And if you take a quick look at the models from Generation 6, you can see the shiny form is very similar. You know, the colouring of the skin is sort of a lighty bluey green colour almost, and the spikes are now a sort of a nice sky blue or a nice sea blue colour as well. That's probably the same in the case of Totodile. We just couldn't see it because the spikes are too far down its back. But yeah, blue spikes, which look pretty cool actually. I do quite like that. As we said already, Totodile evolves into Croconaw starting at level 18. And then Croconaw will evolve further into Feraligatr, starting at level 30. So as I said, you know, later evolution first, and then earlier evolution second. So you get your Feraligatr earlier than someone would get a Typhlosion or a Meganium, I think. So that's that. Let's take a look at general stuff about Croconaw. Croconaw is a medium-sized biped, which means it stands and walks around on 2 legs mainly. It has a light blue body, much very similar to Totodile's, with yellow areas across its chest, its lower jaw, and its back as well. It's more bulky than Totodile, having sort of a bigger body generally, as well as, its arms are a bit bigger. Specifically its legs, though. Its legs are much bigger than they were originally. The spines that were on its back and its tail, they're still there. The one on the tail it's just like a diamond on its tail now. But the spikes or the spines run up its back to its head as well, and you have some sort of Mohican-like spine just sort of coming across the top of its head, which I really like. I like that sort of design aspect there. Croconaw has a large jaw on its face, evidently. Again, this is sort of the main part of its face, with teeth sticking out of it. As you can see, when it has its jaw closed, it has 2 teeth sticking out either side, I believe. And it has these piercing orange eyes, which previously Totodile's eyes were sort of a reddy colour. Croconaw's are really piercing and orange. I do quite like that. The orange sort of, it looks fierce and, ooh, wouldn't want to mess around with Croconaw really. Would not want to mess around with Croconaw. So, taking a look at some Pokédex entries of Croconaw to see just how much we don't want to mess around with Croconaw, we find out again it bites using its huge jaws, much similar to Totodile, and once it has clamped them shut, there is no escape. The person cannot escape, and this is due to the fact that its teeth, the tips of them are shaped like fish hooks, which means they're barbed, so they go backwards. Once they're in your skin, they go back up, so they can't be pulled out without a lot of pain and extreme force. So that's not nice. Evidently, though, that obviously if your teeth are clamped into a victim, they might get stuck every now and again, but if Croconaw does lose one of its teeth, another one quickly regrows in its place, giving it 48 in total all the time. So 48 teeth, one bites down is going to put 48 teeth into you. That is not a nice day out in the park. So what's Croconaw based off of? Well, based on a crocodile basically, very similar to before. The yellow markings over its chest, however, are taken from a caveman's clothing. Taken from cavemen, how they used to wear sort of the sash around across their shoulder, and then around under their other arm around, like that. And obviously they had bits and gaps in them because of how they were out in the rain and whatnot. So that makes a lot of sense there. I guess it's just to show Croconaw's ferociousness, and it might not be too clever a Pokemon as well, so that might again link back to cavemen, who knows. So next, the naming for Croconaw. Its Japanese name is Alligator, as I said. Again, no prizes for guessing what it comes from. It's from alligator, basically. That's it. That's nothing else, just alligator, basically. The English name Croconaw comes from a combination of crocodile, so obviously croc there, and either gnaw or jaw. Gnaw being to bite on something, to chew on something, so to gnaw on it. Or jaw, obviously referring to the fact that it is the big jaw Pokemon, and it has a pretty big jaw. So either of those could work. Obviously Jaw doesn't have an N in it, but Gnaw does, so that might lean more towards that. But either really works, or it could be a combination of all of them just mixed together, who knows? Who knows indeed. So, then finally, before we move on to Feraligatr, if we take a look at Croconaw's size, as I said, it's almost doubled in height from when it was a Totodile, and you can see it here coming up sort of Ash's sort of chest there, and just my waist almost. And it's a pretty big and bulky Pokemon now. Its jaw is huge, it could probably fit Ash in its jaw. You could just put Ash's head in its jaw, clamp its jaw shut, and that'd be Ash just gone. That would be just gone. So basically, you know, don't mess around with Croconaw, is what I'm telling you guys right now. But that's it for Croconaw, so let's move on to the final Pokemon for today, and the final evolution of this line, Feraligatr. So, it's number 160 in the Natural Pokédex, coming one after Croconaw, obviously, and its Japanese name is Totodile. Okay, we'll look at that later on. It is again the big jaw Pokemon, so no change to the whole evolution line, and it's a pure water type, much like Typhlosion and Meganium was staying pure for this starter region thing. It stands at 2.3 meters or 7 foot 7 inches, so it's gotten a hell of a lot bigger since it was a Croconaw, and we'll see that later on. It also weighs 88.8 kilograms or 195.8 pounds, so it's pretty darn heavy too. Looking at the models from Generation 6, you can see, shiny-wise, it's pretty similar to how it was beforehand with Totodile and Croconaw, you know, a sort of a lighty bluey-green body and blue spikes spines down its back. As I mentioned, level 18 into Croconaw, level 30 into Feraligatr. So, Feraligatr, it's a large bipedal Pokemon, much like the rest of its, well, bipedal-wise, you know, rest of its evolution line, and it has a light blue body. It also has yellow markings on its stomach, on its sort of the lower stomach with its sort of, I guess, an arrow shape almost, I don't know, and also its lower jaw. So, lower jaw coming across from when it was a Totodile, not Totodile, rather Croconaw, and the marking coming from when it was a Totodile. You can see Totodile's yellow marking at the top is sort of flipped, and then it's moved down. Who knows? Feraligatr now has powerful limbs with sharp claws on both. It has these really huge legs and also these pretty bulky arms as well, and there are claws on both its fingers and its toes, so as well as having that huge powerful jaw, it's going to have so much more to attack you with. Feraligatr also has large pad-like scales across its body. It has 4 on each arm. You can see 2 on the lower arm, 2 on the upper arm. It has 1 each on its knees. It has at least 1 on its tail, we can see, and it has, I think, 1 on either of its sides. Who knows what these are like, what these are for rather. Are they something, you know, extra protection maybe? Are they muscles of some description? We don't know. Are they scales? Are they pads? Again, we really don't know. It's not described too well, but that is Feraligatr there. Feraligatr's spines have also grown larger again and become a bit more elaborate as well. The one that's tail now has, it seems, 3 points on it. The one that's head carries across from how it was as a Croconaw, and the one that's back seems to have 3 as well. I'm not sure what it was like with Croconaw, but now it has sort of 3 top bits, spikes, whatever you want to call them. Its back also seems to be a bit bulkier as well. You can see where the middle spike comes out of its back. There's also a bit of, I guess, back that's actually moved up, so maybe its back is a bit of a minefield as well. Maybe it's up and down and all bumpy and whatnot, who knows. Like the pre-evolutions before, it has a big powerful jaw, and this is lined with several teeth. As you can see in the Sugimori art where its mouth is open, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I'm assuming 10 there. So it has at least 10 teeth, maybe not quite as many as Croconaw had, but who knows, if it's got maybe more tucked away or more we just can't see, who knows exactly, but powerful jaw lined with teeth again, and again like Croconaw, it has these powerful sort of striking orange eyes that are just going to pierce your heart as its teeth also pierce your heart. But Pokédex entries for Feraligatr to see what more about it we can learn. We learn it's actually a very savage Pokemon. After it bites into a victim or into a Pokemon, whatever, it actually shakes its head viciously and tears up its victim. Tears up its victim, guys. It will pick you up in its mouth, shake its head around, and your body will rip in half. That's exactly what's going to happen if you get caught by a Feraligatr. So please don't get caught by a Feraligatr. Please don't. Anyway. Feraligatr also cannot support its own weight very well outside of water, so it can't really walk around on 2 feet for too long without its upper half of the body sort of just slumping over. So instead it can choose to actually run on all fours. So rather than just being, just walking around on 2 legs, it can actually run on all fours using its arms to power itself forward, as well as its really powerful back legs, its thighs, to just make it run blindingly fast despite its size. So Feraligatr is definitely not a Pokemon to mess with. It's going to chase you down, it's going to get you in its mouth, and it's going to rip you in half. Lovely cheery episodes these, aren't they, guys? So, what is Feraligatr based off of? Well, crocodile or an alligator. That's basically it. There's not much, really. It's basically a crocodile / alligator on legs. That's basically it. Give it a bit more bulk and then make it stand on 2 legs, and that's what you got. That is your Feraligatr right there. So naming wise, the Japanese name Totodile is actually a combination of either O meaning king, O meaning emperor, or O meaning large. There are 3 different sort of ways it can, king, emperor, or large, and crocodile. So it can have meaning, king crocodile, possible. Emperor crocodile, again possible, or large crocodile, again possible, or maybe it's all 3 of these just put together and shoved into that name to make it even better, just it's a large king emperor crocodile. Beware, basically. The English name for alligator is a combination of feral, meaning savage, as we've learned it is savage and vicious and stuff like that, and alligator. Just one of its inspirations there, so really not much to say. But before we finish up the episode, let's take a look at Feraligatr's size. As I've said, it's a pretty big Pokemon. As you can see here, next to me and Ash, it's gigantic. Look at it, 7 foot 7 inches. Towers over even me, and Ash is just screwed. Ash is screwed. Feraligatr could probably eat Ash in 1 bite. Just run away from Feraligatr, guys. That thing is going to chase you down, and it's just going to kill you. That's what's going to happen there. Anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this episode of Pokemon Origins. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit the like button down below in the comment section, or not in the comment section, but down below, and also drop a comment in the comment section, either suggesting Pokemon for further episodes, or let me know what you think of Totodile and its evolution line. Are they vicious, are they deadly, or are they just cute little crocodiles? Let me know down below, guys. For now, this is going to be it for me. I'll be seeing you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends.